Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Carter and Kat's Weather Chat. I'm Carter.
And I'm Kat.
And this is our Weather Chat. All right. So, what is this now? Episode 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Week 3.
I feel like this is like a pattern now. Like, doesn't 3 symbolize repetition or...
Repetition.
Yeah, repeat.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm excited. I feel like we've been doing pretty good so far, and we've been kind of breaking down different topics.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We talked about the fair and why it rains when the fair comes to town.
Yes, a little bit of fair folklore.
Yeah, a little folklore. And then what was that second one we did?
Myth or fact.
Myth or fact, yes.
Debunked the myths and facts, and we even got each other a little bit.
Yeah, I got each other a little bit. Make me look non-educated, but it's okay.
Oh, right. You did. I did that. You did that.
Oh, all right. Well, we're a team effort, Kat. We're a team effort. And I know for those of you who are probably tuning in for the first time, well, you know, I'm a familiar face on KRBC Mornings. I'm the morning meteorologist over there. Kat's on the other side. Kat, you want to give a little intro?
I am the weekend meteorologist for KTAB News. So you typically see me on the weekends for sure. Sometimes I fill in here and there for Sam and Susie, and you'll see my face in October. I'll be on mornings and evenings during the week.
It's exciting, and I'm also excited because this is a time for us to really put a name to the big country storm team.
Yes,
which is that dual effort from both sides.
Absolutely.
So I think that, you know, with all this said, I think we have to dive into something that's a little bit different and a little bit technical at first, but it's one of the coolest and free tools that many people don't even know exists, and it's something that the West Texas folks can use. It's called the West Texas Mesonet.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of a mesonet? What do you think of when you hear mesonet?
Well, as a weather person, obviously, I think of a weather monitoring device that gives us a billion different parameters, such as temperature, wind, pressure, all the things. But I talked to a few people before I came in here because I wanted to know, obviously, as a weather person, we think of the science and we already know what that is. But I wanted to know what the general public thought about it. So I wrote down a couple of answers. So I went to the morning meeting, the editorial meeting, and, you know, our assistant news director was there, the digital content manager, and, you know, Heather was there, which is your co-anchor.
Yeah.
So I asked them, I was like, what do you think about when you hear the word mesonet? And they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. So our assistant news director, Victor Sotelo, said coffee. I think he was thinking about a coffee brand.
Oh, go get a cup of mesonet.
Our digital content manager, Erica, said a society of weather people. And then I also got from Heather, she said an instrument, which is kind of correct, but a band instrument. So like a clarinet or a mesophone.
I think
a mesophone is an instrument. I hope it is.
A mellophone.
A mellophone.
You're thinking of a mellophone.
Maybe, something like that. Another one of our digital producers said a special calculator. Interesting.
Who was this?
And then Mariah Williams, one of our reporters, said a Doppler radar.
Okay.
Which is pretty specific. So obviously the general public isn't really aware of what a mesonet is. So as a meteorologist, we know what it is. It's a weather measuring device, real-time weather data. But do you have a more specific definition for us?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you something more specific any day. This is straight from Google, okay? They say it comes from the words mesoscale network. It's basically a collection of weather stations that measure things like you said, temperature, wind, humidity, maybe rainfall amounts, soil moisture. Sometimes it even does soil temps. So a lot of our Aggies, our farmers out there, really getting some great data for them, especially as a resource. But it also does this every 5 minutes, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep getting constant readings. That way, let's say, I guess I don't have an example.
So I guess like when a storm comes through, like the other day when we had that big giant storm come through at 4 a.m., if you're paying attention to the Mesonet site, it'll tell you 5 minutes at a time how much rain has already fallen.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's like different tools on the website, and we'll talk about it later, that you can look at, and it's relatively up to date.
Yeah. I mean, I could speak on that. So back in college, we actually had this thing called the Weather Challenge.
Yes, I do remember the Weather Challenge.
I told you about that. Yeah,
yes.
I don't remember who puts it on. I cannot remember who it is, but what it is you have meteorologists all over the state, all over the country, and they can be in school, college level, high school level, they can be whatever they want to be. You can be post-grad, one of the best meteorologists in the world, and you can also compete. And what you do is you forecast for different cities.
Yes.
We use the Mesonet a lot for the cases like that. Whenever you're forecasting rainfall, I don't know, if you're like me, you get a little competitive, just a little itch for competitiveness. You're just sitting there watching the rainfall come in. You're like, oh, yeah, 0.2 inches, baby, 0.2 inches.
I forecasted that. No, I despise the weather challenge because they in college, they give it to you at the lower level. So like your first set of meteorology classes, and you don't know how to forecast. I mean, I didn't know how to forecast right away. Yeah. So I despised it. But, I actually didn't really know what a mesonet was in college because it was briefly mentioned and then they just kind of like glazed over it. Yeah. So it wasn't a tool that I used. So,
and that's a tool. And I like that you use that word. It is a tool. A lot of us, especially, weather folks, weather nerds, weather buffs, geeks, weenies, we all use that. That came from James Spann. I gotta give him some credit. But a lot of us, we use that because, we get it from the airport. That's where we get a lot of information from. Yes. A little ASOS there. It does the same stuff that a Mesonet site does. But the perk is there's only one airport in each city.
Yep. And even if that.
Mesonets, they're all over the place.
Especially all across West Texas.
And not even just West Texas. They're all over, let's see. I mean, you have them every single state. Now, they're all owned through different people.
Yes, definitely.
Got to give some preface to that. But it's really exciting. And so I have to ask you a question, Kat. Okay, so why do you think it's so important to have maybe more than just one station in place in West Texas? Why is it important to have that?
Well, see, from a broadcast meteorology standpoint, it's nice to have all of those different plots across the big country. And now we're even more further east towards Eastland to have that so we can understand what's going on across the big country. If there's not an airport in, I don't know, what's a random town that you can think of? Cisco or up in Jayton. Maybe there's not an airport up there, so there's not an ASOS up there. So there's different of those Mesonet sites all over the big country. So we can literally watch as a storm moves through, kind of see the different parameters of it, in real time. So I think that's what's important for us is seeing that instead of kind of thinking like, okay, well, there's an airport here and then there's, that 30 miles from the next airport. So what's kind of going on, but versus maybe 10 to 15 miles from each one or maybe a little bit further, but Yeah.
All right. So I love that answer. I love it. And, we have something that we want to show you. And before we get to that, I think we have to break down a little bit more specifically here. The West Texas Mesonet.
Yes.
What do they do? Who are they founded by? How long have they been going for? Do you have some information maybe you want to share before I share some stuff?
What I know about the West Texas Mesonet is it is run through Texas Tech, the Wind Institute, and they actually use all of the data that they get from however many sites there are for their own research. So that's kind of what I know about them. And obviously it benefits meteorologists because it's there to our advantage and our easy access. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, you're exactly correct. The Wind Institute, I've never been to Texas Tech.
I have.
You have? You say it like it's not a good thing.
No, it's a beautiful campus.
Okay.
I almost went there.
Really?
Yeah, I was either between A&M and Texas Tech, but A&M had meteorology, so.
Well, good for you. That's exciting. Well, let me tell you. So I have some information here. Founded in 1999, so right before year 2000. They grew out, for a need to better serve severe weather coverage. And this was mainly after some different deadly tornadoes and dust storms. We see a lot of those. Oh, man, how many did we see last year?
I don't even remember, but it was a little dusty.
It was just a little dusty. That's right. Well, let me tell you. Today, there are more than 100 different stations across West Texas. And this is all for the West Texas Mesonet. But they also include eastern New Mexico. And guess this, Colorado.
Yeah, the southern part of Colorado.
Yeah. Do you know why that's there?
I do not.
Okay, so let me tell you. This one is at Fort Lewis. It's southwestern Colorado. And I actually had to do some research because I wondered the same thing. I was like, why are we putting one station miles away from the other, all by itself out west? The reason is kind of smart. Okay, so here's why. They do it, they put it upstream so we can get an idea of different systems that will be moving into our area.
Interesting. Oh, I see.
It
So they
makes
can track
sense.
it from because it obviously comes off the Rockies most of the
Yeah,
time. And
get the environment. Yeah,
oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Because I
me
always
either.
wondered that too. Because it's so random. It's just there. Because
Yeah,
we have Texas and New Mexico, and then it's like, oh, there's Colorado.
that is
So
it.
that is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's exciting. Anyways, I'm pretty excited. They also have 22 different stations in the big country,
Yes.
widespread, and one of them, most recently, was put in back in December of last year, I believe.
It was in the fall sometime.
Okay, okay. Well, let me tell you, this one is very local, and some of you guys might drive by it every single day without knowing. In fact, our own cat got to go take a visit to them. Let's check this out.
Weather world is changing with the new Mesonet site here at ACU. Now, while this looks like a big chunk of metal, it's actually measuring temperature, wind, and much more.
This project is called the West Texas Mesonet. We have 164 what we call Mesonet stations, which is what you see behind you, in 94 counties in New Mexico, Colorado, and western Texas.
Mesonet stations are crucial to meteorologists as they provide real-time, localized weather data, which is essential for forecasting and understanding significant weather events.
We're sampling 29 different parameters: wind, temperature, rainfall, soil temperature data.
This data is especially helpful during rainy seasons when the National Weather Service puts out weather warnings for the key city.
But mainly it's also to assist us with helping us determine whether or not we need to issue flash flood warnings for the area. That was the primary reason for having this sensor put here.
This is the third site in Abilene, helping fill the gap between the two other sites at Dyess Air Force Base and the airport.
If we have 4 inches here at the airport, 4 inches here at this sensor, and then we only have 1 inch at the airport, then they get the idea that we actually had heavier rainfall.
But the information doesn't just help your local weatherman or woman, it's also benefiting the ACU campus.
And a lot of our building automation systems, which impacts our HVAC, is so dependent upon the outside air temperature. So we utilize it a lot for that. We utilize it in our landscaping.
Bringing more weather awareness to rural areas within the big country. Reporting in Abilene with coverage you can count on, I'm meteorologist Catalina Bell. Okay, so yeah, I took a trip out there. I don't really remember the timeline. I know it wasn't scorching hot out. It was in the fall sometime, but I wasn't really aware of the West Texas Mesonet because obviously, we were coming out here, new meteorologists, like trying to absorb all of the things. And then during one of the meetings, they were like, hey, Kat, there's, Mesonet site coming out. Like, you should go check it out. You're scientists, you got this. So I was like, okay. So I go out there, and as a meteorologist that went to school, went through all of the schooling, I learned so much. So It's on the ACU campus. I believe it's on the north side. It is right off of the highway, I believe. And a lot of people, they don't see it. And we couldn't even find it. I went out there with one of our photogs, and we were trying to find this big, giant metal thing. And we were like, where is it? And then we finally found it. It's in the middle of a field, and it's very tall. It's, I don't even know, 30 feet tall.
Just about.
And it has literally weather instruments all up and down it. So we went out there, and I got to interview one of the leads that kind of puts it all together. I think his name was Wes. I don't remember his last name, but Wes, he, gave us a little bit of information, and it was really awesome. And so learned a lot about that for myself, and just to kind of educate the people like, hey, there is a tool for you guys to use that is really easily accessible. So yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome. And I saw that Mike Castillo
was there, yes, the National Weather Service.
Yeah.
Yes, down in San Angelo. Shout out Mike Castillo.
We love Mike.
But yeah, he was there too, and we talked about how it's beneficial for the Weather Service because obviously they're down there in San Angelo, and there's not a weather office here in Abilene. So those tools are super beneficial for the Weather Service. Like even in Lubbock, over in New Mexico, some of those weather offices. So he expressed the need for it and how it helps, when they put out warnings such as flash flood warnings, because it measures, how much moisture is in the soil or how much rain has fallen. So he expressed a lot of that. And then we talked to one of I believe he was like a project manager for ACU, and he talked to me a little bit about, putting it there, why they chose that spot, and how it's beneficial for them. And so it was really cool experience. I learned a lot.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So for those who don't know, it's located, right behind that little golf course area they have. It's like a golf practice field.
I don't know. I don't
know.
really go up there that much.
Well, that's okay. So funny story, and this is what I'm getting at. Me and my wife were big Chick-fil-A supporters, as everyone is, right? And so we take that drive all the time. We're going to Chick-fil-A, yada yada. Every time we pass by it, I always look over there as I'm driving. I'm like, look at that beauty. And I every time I did it, she would just look at me, and I think that she was thinking, Carter, when did you start watching golf? Like, are you a golf fan now? Like, what's your obsession over that golf field? I was like, no, babe, that's the Mesonet.
She didn't realize that's what you were looking at.
She had no idea. And finally, I explained it to her, and I still do it. I still say it every time I get Chick-fil-A. I'll probably say it this weekend.
That's funny. No, I think about that, like, just any type of weather instrument. I'll be driving by it, like a Doppler radar. There's, like, random ones sometimes that you see in just random towns. And I'll be driving, and I'm like, just scared. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. And then people are like, are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So you were out there, what people are probably wondering right now, now why would we see money spent on this site? What is the purpose of it? What does it do for me? What can it do for our ACU students? What is the primary goal of a Mesonet? Just being out there, can you kind of help explain that for people who might be wondering that?
Well, yeah. So if you want to know like the real-time temperature, you can go to that website and it is right there, because as soon as you look up West Texas Mesonet on the internet and you click the link, it shows you temperatures all across the big country. And that is real-time weather data versus, I don't know where the Apple weather, not to hate on Apple weather, but I'm hating on it. Their stuff is, it's a little finicky, but you don't know where that weather data is coming from, but you know that there is a site at the north side of town that's telling you exactly what the temperature is. So for the public, if you want to know what the temperature is at that moment, you're walking out the door, do I need to throw on a sweater? Like, this morning it was around 66 degrees and it wasn't quite that cold, but it was cool enough that I could wear a sweater vest without the sleeves. So it's like using stuff like that to know, okay, I'm walking out the door, what's it going to be? Obviously, it doesn't give you the forecast, and that's why you tune into your local meteorologist, such as Carter and I. But so it's helpful for the public in that way. If you want to get a little more technical, you can look at all the other parameters. But, but the most important is looking at the real-time temperature. For students, obviously, if there's any science majors at ACU, I'm not sure of what degrees they have to offer there. But they can use that to kind of learn different. There is obviously meteorology classes that may not just be for meteorology majors. They might be for non-meteorology majors. So learning how to use that tool to look at, the wind speed or the wind gusts or the temperature and, and it also helps them understand for sporting events as well. Okay, well, it's raining here. Maybe how much rain has fallen? Do we need to adjust accordingly? Or not just sporting events, but any events? Because if the soil's too wet and they don't want to have an event outside and people start sinking in their heels and, so it's stuff like that, using that to help them to their benefit.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think for me, and this is where I'm going to get selfish, I don't want to buy a rain gauge. And if you're like me, who doesn't want to buy a rain gauge, doesn't want to deal with it, doesn't want to have to drain it, and you want to know what the precip amounts were, and not saying that this is me at all or Kat, but some meteorologists might not provide you with how much rainfall you saw recently.
Yes.
That's a great place that you can go to see how much rainfall we've seen recently.
Specifically for the north side of town.
Yeah.
So that's beneficial for that. But there's also like parameters that come with putting up a rain gauge. Like you can't just, like I couldn't put up a rain gauge in my apartment because I'm too close to other houses. There's not like, you have to put it up a certain height and also you have to mess with it and drain it. And so it gets like exhausting.
Yeah.
So obviously I live a little bit further south, so that's where the difference comes from. But that's when I use my own tools to figure out how much rain fell in my apartment. So
you use like a 2 liter of Sprite and cut it. And
I actually have one on my desk.
I think you do. I think you did this for one of your
Wednesday.
Yeah.
No. Like I lost my train of thought. But anyways, yeah.
All right. Well, Kat, you know, we played a game last week,
hmm
and I want to play a game again.
Okay.
And you might already know the answers. But it's a great recap of what we just talked about.
Mhm.
And we're going to call this, here, give me like a theme song sound.
Do, 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 do. I was thinking about
Are you
Chris.
singing Jingle Bells?
Okay, wait. Do, 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 do. I can't think of what other than Jingle.
Mesonet Mythbusters.
That's a good one.
Yeah, okay. That's what we're going to play today.
Okay.
Mesonet Mythbusters. Kat, that was great. So here's how this works. Okay, I'm going to read a statement, and you're going to tell me if it's true or false, and you're welcome to explain why, and if not, I'll explain why.
Okay.
Okay. True or false? The West Texas Mesonet was founded by Texas Tech in 1999.
Okay, well, you already said that. That's true.
That's true.
I was listening.
Okay. All right. True or false? All Mesonet stations are located in big cities.
That is false. They are in West Texas. We don't have a lot of big cities, and there's one in up north towards Stanford, over in Cisco. I mean, I've passed through Cisco, so obviously there's one in Abilene. Abilene is a bigger city, but it's not the biggest city in the world like Dallas.
Yeah.
And there's also one in Jayton. I believe there's one over towards Snyder, up north in Knox County. So small areas.
I love that. Yeah. And it's all about agriculture. And if you want agriculture, you got to think rural.
Yes.
All right. True or false? The ACU Mesonet station is the first one ever built in West Texas.
That is false. And I don't know actually which one was built first. Wait, I think I do.
Okay. You want to guess?
Was it at Texas Tech?
Yes. Where's Texas Tech located?
In Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock, Texas. I probably should know this. I'm still new to
You
Texas.
didn't know.
Okay, I thought it was.
It's okay. You're not from Texas.
I'm not from Texas.
I'll give
Okay.
you some grace.
But yes, it was in Lubbock. In fact, did I say when? Oh, guess what? Back in 1999 when it was
When
founded.
it was founded.
That would make sense. All right, true or false? Some Mesonet sites record soil temperatures all the way down to 6 feet underground.
I don't think it's 6 feet. I think it's 6 inches. So I think it's false. Or am I wrong? I could be wrong.
It is 6 feet.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
6 feet under.
That's crazy. I mean, I guess that makes sense because you obviously don't want to just measure the topsoil. You want to measure deep down.
You
I
said
guess
6 inches.
that's the best beneficial for drought monitors too,
Yeah,
because then we can tell how much moisture is in the soil.
yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
6 inches. That's like
I was thinking of like a little Subway 6 inch. I was like, there ain't enough soil there. Cat.
that's just top dirt.
Yeah, you got
the
gotta think big, gotta think deeper. All right, Kat, let me tell you, one Mesonet station once clocked a wind gust stronger than 100 miles per hour.
I believe it.
You do?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm not letting you gaslight me again.
Whoa, we don't use the gaslighting word in the podcast studio. Okay, yes, that is true. That was in the Panhandle. They see a lot of wind gusts out there. I mean, that's just what the Panhandle is known
That's
for.
where a lot of our dust storms come from.
Yeah.
Out west.
Yeah. And then, well, let's see. No, that's it. That's it. All right. Well,
You know I'm thinking about it. 100 miles per hour. Wouldn't that damage the Mesonet site?
that's a good question.
Because I noticed over the last couple of days when we had we had that first line and then we had that second line of storms come in, and there was some that were down because of the winds. So they got to be pretty industrial to withstand 100 miles per hour.
Made with like full steel. I
Yeah,
don't know, maybe. I don't.
because they're tall. How can they just like?
I mean, they had. So, okay. So, actually, I can tell you, we had a little station, and this was not a Mesonet site, but it was a weather station that
Mhm.
looks just like it. Identical. We just don't have a Tennessee Mesonet officially formed yet. They're in the
Mhm.
process of it. That's political right there.
No.
But we had one at school, and they actually had those like cable wires
Mhm.
that support it.
Oh, so it kind of anchors it down.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
that'll help out a little bit.
Maybe some of them do have that. I'm not sure. I'll have to go
Mm.
look. I've only seen the one at ACU, so maybe I'll go on a field trip across the big country and find different Mesonet sites.
Hey, if you go check it out, there's a Chick-fil-A over there. I'm just
In the
letting you
north
know.
side?
Yes, there is.
I don't go to the north side too often.
That's
but
okay. That's
I'll,
okay.
maybe I'll make a trip up there to go see it
Okay.
again. My 1 year
Again.
anniversary of seeing it.
Well, Pay your respects to the Mesonet. Is there anything else you want to say today?
No, but you can access this data online. It's free to the public. It's pretty simple to use. I believe that the website is West Texas Mesonet. Do you have the website? .ed or .ttu, I believe.
.ttu would make sense.
Yes. So, but honestly, you don't even need the website. All you have to do is look up West Texas Mesonet online. It'll pop up as like the first thing. Click on it, and you'll see all of the sites across West Texas into New Mexico and in southern Colorado. You can click on them. It'll tell you where it is. And then it'll give you specific details about what's going on, the current conditions. And you can also, there's a little sidebar on the side that you can click on, and it'll give you the temperature, and then it'll go to the winds, and then it'll also go to precipitation. You can look up 1 hour precipitation and 24-hour precipitation totals. And yeah, there's different things that you can look at. Pretty cool stuff. I use it pretty much every day now. It's something that I've kind of embedded into my routine because it's so helpful. So yeah, definitely recommend it.
Go have fun, go play, learn something new. And it's, again, like Kat said, it's free. And anyways, well, that's it for this episode of Carter and Kat's Weather Chat. Kat, you did really good in trivia. I'm going to let you close us out.
Okay.
You want to close us out?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Carter and Kat's Weather Chat.
I'm Carter.
And I'm Kat. And this is our Weather Chat. But yeah, until then, keep chasing away.